YouTube? This is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and let's talk sleepers. We've got your top 10 sleepers for this upcoming season that's going to help you win in your draft and your season. Now, of course, there are a lot of other options that are out there, but these are I believe, going to be the best options for you guys. I've got a little bit of quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, and all based off ADP. These guys are going to be ones that might fall to you at a good round, and you'll be able to actually really brag about them in this upcoming season. So make sure you guys check out this video. Also, check out our other videos. We've dropped our ranking videos. If you're in Dynasty, check out our Dynasty videos. That way you guys are prepared. We are in the thick of it. Preseason has started, so we're super excited. I'm ready for football to start. I'm doing mock drafts. We'll be dropping those as well. Get you guys ready. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm super pumped. So, sleepers. All right, we're going to talk about it. All right. First thing I want to talk about is going to be the quarterback position. I have two guys in here that are not getting a lot of love. One of them didn't play in the Hall of Fame game, and that's okay. First guy is Trevor Lawrence. Look, Trevor Lawrence right now is in the end of the 12th round is where I'm kind of seeing him fall. And that's okay. He's QB 19 in most rankings. It's out there. I've kind of looked at all kinds of different options. But the reason why I have Trevor Lawrence as a sleeper, I'm not going to say he's a top 10 guy, but he could definitely get you close to that 15 mark, if not a little bit higher, based off the fact that he's on a Jaguars team that is putting a lot of investment in him. They put a lot of money in receivers, whether you agree with it or not. He's got a head coach in Doug Peterson, who is a pass-heavy coach. So looking at what's going to be available, they've improved on some of the offensive line. I've got a lot of great options. You've got Etienne back. Robinson hopefully becomes back, healthy and be able to kind of split that. There's just a lot out there, right? You've got a new tight end. You've got receivers. I do expect him to finish in the top 15 range. I know that's a little bit crazy to me just because I've watched him play and he had so many interception issues, but this is a guy that finished QB 23 last year and with the chaos that was the Jacksonville Jaguars. So with a more reliable head coach, a coach that has won in the league, who is going to be a pass-heavy coach, who's going to rely and really focus on his talent and what he can bring. I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence, okay? Now, quarterbacks like maybe Zach Wilson, I do, but Trevor Lawrence is somebody I am definitely looking at drafting late in the rounds that you can really, really grab and feel pretty confident about this season. Another quarterback I feel really good about this season that's getting absolutely no love, which is blowing my mind, is Davis Mills. And I understand the Texans are not a team most people are going to watch. There's probably one fantasy guy in there, which is Brandon Cooks, that most people feel is the only one worth drafting. But in a redraft, especially a 12-man league, you might want to go after Davis Mills. Right now, he's falling in the 18th round towards the end, and that's a steal to me. Right. He was QB 29 last year. He didn't obviously start the whole season. He was back and forth. But if you look at what he did in the last 5 games of this season, he averaged 20 points in fantasy. He actually showed a lot of guts, a lot of potential. Obviously, with him, you're losing Mechie, which kind of, obviously never had him. But the fact is you lost a good receiver there. So now you've got Nico Collins at the second. You still have Brandon Cooks there. You've got Brevin Jordan, who could possibly be a decent tight end in this upcoming season. I do like Pierce in the running back position. You obviously have Marlon Mack, who's there. They're going to try to improve. Obviously, this is a team that's not built for really anything. But with that said, I think it's going to be a fun team to watch because they're going to go out there and try to play their best to obviously prove that they really deserve to be in the NFL. So he has a lot of signs. Again, the hurt part is Mechie, right? I think Mechie was going to really be a big improvement and really add some depth and value to that team. But I like Davis Mills. Again, these are not quarterbacks I'm starting every single week, but they're good bye-week fillers. And there are going to be some matchups they may be a better option for you. Now, before I start talking about the rest of the players, I want to talk about our partnership with Fantasia Sports. If you guys have not already checked out our other video, we got some details on that, but I've got some description down below. Make sure you guys check them out. They're a new fantasy sports platform. There's DFS. There's obviously leagues you can build, whether it be free. You can even do pay leagues. And again, if you guys click on our link, obviously we'll get you guys in there. You can do free. There's all kinds of great stuff with Fantasia Sports. Make sure you guys check out that. Download the app. Give it a go. Check out a free league. And if you really love it, share it with your friends. Make sure you guys create a league. I will be dropping an Average Joe's League soon, so make sure you guys pay attention to that. I'll be putting that stuff out on Twitter, and that way you guys can join, and maybe you guys will be part of that league with me. So make sure you guys check that out. I'll be dropping that soon before the season starts. But again, check out Fantasia Sports. It is a great new platform. Again, link is down in the description below. Now, as far as running backs go, this one I've got a little bit more to talk about. I've got Rashad Penny here. Look, Rashad Penny is falling in the end of the 6th round. And I know a lot of people have some hesitation due to his injuries. I do worry a little bit with Kenneth Walker there because they added, obviously, that's some draft capital. And I do love Kenneth Walker. I think he's going to be a great running back in this NFL league. But here's where I love about Rashad Penny is right now, RB32. He could easily be an RB2 for you. He can definitely fall within that RB 2019 range at the end of the season as long as he does stay healthy. He was already given the starting job. That's pretty much been announced at this point, which is kind of crazy since that, preseason really just getting ready to start. He does have Walker behind him, which does worry me a little bit. But what they're expecting Rashad Penny to get is about 20 to 25 touches in the game. Okay. And if you look at what he finished last season, the last 5 games, very similar to what I said about Davis Mills, he averaged over 20 points in fantasy. Like, he was balling out last season when they finally he was healthy. They used him. And I think they're going to do that same thing this year. They do expect him to be the starting back. Obviously, Chris Carson, unfortunately, had to retire. So really, it's just Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker. Walker's not proven yet. I do like his talent. I think he will eventually overtake this job, but I don't see that happening this year. So Rashad Penny is a great sleeper. Another running back that is falling is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard right now is at the end of the 6th round as well. He's RB33 right behind Rashad Penny. He's going to see an increase of pass catches. So if you're in a PPR league or even a half PPR league, this is going to be huge because Tony Pollard, especially with the Dallas Cowboys losing a lot of wide receivers, unfortunately, in training camp. You lost Amari Cooper with the trade. You really got CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz. You got Noah Brown. You got Jalen Tolbert, the rookie. They're going to utilize Pollard a lot on the outside, and I think they're going to really run a lot of Zeke and Pollard in the backfield at the same time. So you really don't know if it's going to be a pass, or it's going to be a run, which I actually think is going to be really good for that offense. So the injuries to the receiver value, and it's really going to add the value to Tony Pollard, and he's probably going to see a 10 to 15% increase in carries this season compared to even last year. And he did really well last year. And I think a lot it's going to do just to make sure that Ezekiel Elliott is fresh for the whole season, because like last year, he was injured. So I do like Pollard. He's going to be one of those secrets that I think people know about, but aren't really sure to take in redraft. In Dynasty, you're taking him, but in redraft, a lot of people are kind of hesitant. I'm taking him. I have him in almost all my Dynasty leagues. I'm trying to, at least. And I like him in redraft. He's going to be one of those guys, especially if you have Zeke, you need to handcuff him. Another guy I have that I actually really like this upcoming season in redraft is going to be Chase Edmonds. Right now, he's in the middle of the 7th round in most drafts that I'm seeing. He's RB34, right behind, obviously, Penny and Pollard. The committee, I think, is what scares a lot of people with the Dolphins. They're not really sure what's going to happen. But if you look at what San Francisco did with their running back and what's going to translate into this team, I do like Edmonds a little bit more than Mostert or even Sony Michel or even Myles Gaskin, because there's a lot out there as far as running backs go. Edmonds is definitely the pass catching back. He did that, well, obviously, when he was in Arizona, and I think he's going to add that value, especially when you've got a team that I think is really going to do a really good mixture of pass and run, right? You've got Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Gesicki, and then now you add, obviously, Edmonds in the backfield. He's going to be a solid RB2. I don't think he's going to be really anything higher than that, and that's okay. You don't need him to be your RB1. He might have some RB1 games every once in a while, but I think this is going to be a really strong RB2 who's falling in the late 7th round. He's definitely a sleeper of mine because a lot of people are unsure what to do with him. You may even be able to get him in the 8th or 9th round, depending on your league mates and what they really do believe in this Dolphins committee backfield. No one really knows, but I think he's going to fall a little bit further than that. As far as wide receivers, this one's kind of surprising. Courtland Sutton's falling wide receiver 26. I think he's better than a below wide receiver 2. I think he can be a wide receiver 1 in this offense. He's going to be a little bit of the mixture of Tyler Lockett role that Russell Wilson had in Seattle. He has the big big play. He's got the talent to do it. He was the better receiver than Jerry Jeudy, even though Jerry Jeudy obviously has had to deal with injuries, but so has Courtland, right? Courtland's dealt with injuries as well. I think he's going to really fill in role. And I've already watched some of the training camps, and I know it's training camp. You're going against your own team. There's a lot of, you already know what's going to happen, but he's got a really good connection with Russell Wilson right now. And this is definitely going to be a passing team. So I think Courtland falling in the middle of the 5th round is definitely a steal and definitely a sleeper because, again, you're looking at some of these other receivers that are going ahead of him. Some of these guys aren't even going to be the wide receiver 1 on their team, and Courtland Sutton really is the wide receiver 1. So I like Courtland Sutton a lot. I'm absolutely trying to grab him, especially if he's falling down in the draft. Another guy that's been falling down into the 7th round is Juju Smith-Schuster. I think Juju's kind of burned a lot of people. They loved him when he was obviously opposite of Antonio Brown. He was he was almost like the wide receiver 1, but obviously wasn't, with Antonio Brown being the guy. And I think that's what people are worried about. They think that once Juju became the wide receiver 1, he kind of fell off. And that's okay. I understand that, and there's a lot of valid points in that. Right now, he's falling in wide receiver 35 in most drafts, but he is at least a wide receiver 2 in your fantasy, right? He's going to be with one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He really is going to be opposite of, a Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You've got a McCole Hardman. So really, Juju is the number 1 again in this offense. And I would say number 2 behind, Travis Kelce. So for me, the fact that Kelce's going to drive a lot of the targets, Juju is going to get the targets. And then, of course, I think Hardman and Marquez is going to be the 2 fighting for it. I think Juju is going to see about 100 to 120 targets. He's going to be kind of like the Tyreek Hill. Obviously, I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but he's going to get a lot of those targets that Tyreek used to get. Tyreek was getting about 130 to 140 targets. That's going to somebody, and that is going to Juju. So the fact that he's falling down to wide receiver 34, 35, which is going to be kind of that wide receiver 3 mark in most fantasy, that is a steal. He is just cruising along. So if he's falling to you in the 6th, 7th round, you're absolutely grabbing him. Some of you guys might go a little early just because you believe in, obviously, Patrick Mahomes and that offense, and that's okay. But he is definitely a good sleeper. Another sleeper, Christian Kirk. Man, this guy's not getting any love. And I think a lot of it has to do with that contract. I understand Jacksonville spent a lot. But like I mentioned earlier with Trevor Lawrence, this is a pass-heavy offense behind Doug Peterson. Okay? Kirk falling in the end of the 8th round in most drafts. Wide receiver 43 in most rankings. Again, pass-heavy offense. The whole Trevor Lawrence thing, we'll see how that plays out, but I think he's going to heavily target him. Kirk had 80 catches last season with, obviously, Murray back there and, DeAndre Hopkins, and obviously it was A.J. Green, there was Rondo Moore, there was a lot. But Christian Kirk was one of their most consistent playmakers for Arizona, and I think he's going to be really that playmaker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand that a lot of people are kind of nervous about this offense, but I'm not. I actually have Kirk in a lot of my leagues. I've gone after him. He's falling really low, which is great because, again, I'm getting a wide receiver 1 at a 8th, 9th round pick in an offense that is going to pass a lot. Like Trevor Lawrence is going to pass 30 to 40 times a game. That's just the way this offense works. So that's a lot of targets. You're going to see 7 to 10 targets a game to Christian Kirk. He's catching at least 60 to 70% of that. That's huge. You're getting at least a solid wide receiver 2 with the potential of maybe it being a low wide receiver 1 offense in the late 8th, 9th round. So I'm definitely going after Christian Kirk. Now, tight ends, I've got 2 guys here that I believe are going to be some good sleepers. Robert Tonyan's the first one. I know Robert Tonyan's injury is a lot of people kind of holding back and not even drafting him at all, and that's okay. He might be a free agent or waiver wire pickup later in the season. Robert Tonyan right now is falling in the end of, or the beginning of the 14th round. He's tight end 19 right now. But the reason why I have him as a good sleeper is the fact that, again, wide receiver options aren't many for Aaron Rodgers and this Green Bay Packers. And Rodgers likes to really throw to familiar faces. Tonyan's a familiar face. Allen Lazard's a familiar face. And then you've got obviously a lot of rookies. You've got Christian Watson, who's a big one that a lot of people are talking about. You got Romeo's another receiver people are talking about. So there's a lot of, I guess you would say, uncertainty when this offense goes. But I think one certainty thing is, as long as Tonyan is healthy, he's going to be the red zone threat. He's going to be the guy who's going to get 6 to 7 targets a game. He's going to get you some catches. He's going to be a really good tight end. He's going to be a good mid-tier tight end. Again, middle of the pack tight end, I would say probably finishing tight end 12, maybe 10, which is a good starting tight end in fantasy, especially in a 12-man league. So I like him there, especially at that value. Another guy who's got a good option is going to be Evan Ingram. He's going to be the Dallas Goedert of this Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, pass-heavy offense with Doug Peterson. He's going to see a lot of targets. I like Evan Ingram's ability. I know he's got some drop issues. You've seen that, and obviously, in the Giants. But I like his talent. I think there's already been a strong connection between him and Lawrence right now. Again, he's tight end 21 right now in most rankings. He's falling into the 14th round, just like Robert Tonyan. He's one of those guys that is one of my biggest sleepers this upcoming season. I really do feel he's going to really fall into that Goddard role, where Goddard's been in the top 10 in fantasy ever since Doug Peterson was there. And even last year, without Doug Peterson, was still one of the better tight ends in this league. So I like Evan Ingram a lot. He's going to finish in the end of the 10th spot as far as tight ends. That's where I feel he's going to finish. And you're getting him in the 14th round. Like, that's such a steal right now, because you probably will already draft a really strong tight end. Then you've got Evan Ingram. Maybe you got a little bit of trade bait you can use. So I like him a lot into this upcoming season. So do not sleep on him. No pun intended. Okay. So those are my sleepers for this upcoming season. Again, there's a lot more. If there's other players that you think are some good sleepers, let us know in the comments down below. Greatly appreciate that. If you guys do have questions, always hit some in the comments. We'll be dropping those mock draft videos. And of course, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be always putting out content there. Any advice out there as well, you can always ask us questions. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell is on. That way you guys are notified every time I drop a video just like this. And of course, hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. It really shows us how much you guys enjoyed the video, and it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. We want to be able to share this knowledge. Hopefully it's great knowledge for you guys out there. And if you guys are looking for a new platform to play, again, make sure you hit that description down below. Click on the link for Fantasia Sports. There's free content, DFS stuff. There's leagues you can create that you can put some money up there. So again, make sure you click that as well. And again, mock drafts coming, and I'll check you guys next time.